Story 1. Today I messed up by walking in my parents passionately making love. Title says it mostly. I accidentally walked in on my dad going down on my mom. This just happened like 15 minutes ago. I was playing Fallout 4 for several hours, and I had no clue where my parents were. Keep in mind that I also have a hearing deficit and I was not wearing my hearing aids at the time. On top of that, it is currently very late where I live, so I figured my parents were in bed or something. After playing Fallout 4 for several hours, I go into the hallway and I see a small amount of light coming from the game room. I thought that maybe someone left the TV on and I went to turn it off. I open the door and lo and behold, my father's head is in between my mom's legs, like 6 feet away from me. I just shut the door and ran downstairs and outside. I became a little concerned about what would happen next. My father came outside and I asked, "How are ya?" And he said, "Fine, but next time knock." I explained that not only had I been unaware of where they were, but it was also late and I thought maybe they were in bed. I also mentioned that I was not wearing my hearing aids and could not hear behind the door very well. I also added on top of all of that I saw a light coming from the game room and thought that maybe someone left the TV on and intended to turn it off. I also apologized and said that I just made an honest mistake. My father said everything was fine and I had absolutely nothing to worry about. He just said that Fridays and Saturdays are the only 2 days that he has time to spend with my mom, so I should be more vigilant about opening a door on those days. TLDR. I walked in on my parents having intercourse. My father asked that next time I knock, but he acknowledged that I made a genuine error. Story 2. Today I messed up by accidentally ruining a wedding over a misplaced joke. So this actually happened last weekend, but the repercussions are still unfolding, and I'm feeling more horrible as each day passes. I was at my cousin's wedding, a pretty big deal since it was the first family gathering after all the lockdowns. Everything was perfect. The venue, the food, the decorations. Spirits were high, and maybe that's why I overestimated my sense of humor at the moment. During the reception, there was an open mic for toasts. After a few drinks, feeling overly confident in my comedic timing, I decided to contribute. My joke was about how my cousin, the bride, had always said she'd only get married when pigs fly, and I followed up by pointing out her ex at one of the tables who used to have a pet pig. What I thought would be taken as playful ribbing absolutely wasn't. Turns out not everyone knew about their past or his pet pig. Most importantly, the groom didn't. The room went silent. You could literally hear a pin drop. The groom got upset, thinking there were still unresolved feelings between my cousin and her ex. The rest of the evening turned into chaos with family members taking sides, arguing about whether or not it was appropriate for her ex to even be there. My attempt at humor ended up spiraling into heated discussions about relationships and trust within our own family dynamics. Now I'm banned from 2 upcoming family events and have become somewhat of a pariah. My cousin is still talking to me, but says it's going to take some time for everything to calm down with her new husband. Lesson learned. Alcohol and microphones are a dangerous mix at weddings. TLDR. Cracked a bad joke about the bride's ex at her wedding, caused a huge family drama, and got banned from family events. Story 3. Today I messed up by trying to stay awake for as long as I can. This fuck up is still ongoing. For a bit of context, I 18 generally really like to sleep. I only work 6-hour long shifts in the evening, which leaves me with a lot of time to sleep in until noon and take a nap before work. Sometimes I sleep for 16 hours a day. I'm essentially a cat. Last Thursday, I woke up at 3 a.m., hungover from some mistime day drinking. This was 66 hours ago as I'm typing this. I had a bit of a realization. I wanted to stop wasting my time sleeping and otherwise sausaging around. I decided I would just stay awake until I'll pass the fuck out. To make up for lost time, I stayed up until I heard my dad leave for work, at which point I went for a run for the first time in months. I hit the gym as well, went to work, and by the time it was time to go to bed I wasn't tired at all. I actually replayed and finished Mario on my old Nintendo DS. That was legendary. Anyway, yesterday I hung out with some friends all day. It was maybe 10 p.m. when I got home, and still wasn't tired whatsoever. I thought, whatever, at least I'm not wasting as much time. I did random at-home Chinese YouTube workouts for like 3 hours straight, watched a few movies, and it was morning again. Fast forward to now, Saturday 9 p.m., still not feeling urged to sleep. I don't know if I should feel concerned or if my system is just rebooting. I feel a weird sense of mental clarity. Usually I have pretty bad brain fog going on, no motivation to do jack shit, etc. And I swear I'm not on meth or anything, just a singular Red Bull at least 18 hours ago. I'll probably fall asleep eventually. Just not sleepy right now. Weird. Probably shouldn't have messed with my schedule this radically. But oh well. TLDR. Realized I waste too much time asleep. Decided to stay up as long as possible. Turns out I'm better at that than I thought. Story 4. Today I messed up. Acted like a horrible person to the one person who's shown me love in my life. My mom. Feel terrible. Going through a rough patch in life. Quick to switch my mood around. Always being agitated at the smallest things, and I don't feel like I'm myself. I'm self-sabotaging myself by overthinking, and uni work's got me feeling down all the time. Not saying this to sugarcoat what I've done. Every time she tries to check on me, I snap back at her like a making love rabid dog. I'm the only one she really has here, and I could tell she got hurt pretty bad by it recently. It tears me up to look at her sad because of what I said or did, because she literally doesn't do anything to wrong me. Her attention and care is replied to by my anger and snappiness. She wanted to go out to get breakfast today, and I said I was going to study and took long to get ready, while she was all dressed up and ready to leave. Then I switched my mind and said I wanted to leave for breakfast too. Like, what the fuck am I doing? Why am I acting like such a selfish, disgusting person? I wasn't like this before, and it creates a sense of self-loathing in me that I've never felt this strongly before. TLDR, acting like a cunt for no reason to my mum. Feel horrible. Story 5. Today I messed up by overtipping a delivery driver, and now my account is in overdraft. This morning I really wasn't in the mood to cook food, so I ordered breakfast instead. I always set the payment option as debit at the door, so the faster they deliver the more I tip. He got here within 15 minutes, which I was happy about, and the total order was $35. So I was planning on tipping $10 extra. When he handed me the debit machine, I went to type in the custom tip, and he was talking to me throughout the whole time, so I was distracted, then accidentally put $100 tip. I tapped it using Apple Pay and realized instantly what I just did. I felt like an idiot and told him I only meant to do $10. He said they can't give refunds when paying at the door because there's no way for him to give any money back. He said I can call the store, but I'd have to go in person to the refund, which completely defeats the purpose of getting food delivered. Now my account is -80 and am not getting paid for another week. Also, I don't even have a car to go and get the money. TLDR. I accidentally tipped $100 instead of $10, and now my account is in overdraft. I have to go back to the store to get a refund, but I don't have a car and no money to even get an Uber there. Story 6. Today I messed up by peeing on a closed toilet seat lid. This is something that might happen if you're drunk or high, but I was sober. This was a routine bathroom trip that turned into a giant mess. I'm a dude, so I obviously stand up when I pee. I stood in front of the toilet and I was looking straight ahead the entire time. I didn't look down at all. I assumed the toilet seat was all the way up. I pulled out my willy and started to piss. I realized immediately that I wasn't hearing the splash sound when your urine hits the toilet water. The sound I heard was akin to raindrops hitting your car. I looked down, and to my horror, the toilet seat lid is down and I am peeing on top of it. I don't have the ability to stop myself from peeing on command, so I had to just ride it out. Lifting the lid up and getting the rest of the pee inside of the bowl also wasn't an option. Afterwards, the floor and toilet seat lid was covered in piss. I cleaned it up and went about my night. If I had looked down and saw that the lid was down as I always do, this wouldn't have happened. TLDR. I peed on a closed toilet seat and made a giant mess. Story 7. Today I messed up by flashing my friend group. This is my first time posting, but I'm trying to give as much detail without people being able to figure out who I am. Throwaway account just in case. So if you have any questions or suggestions, please feel free to ask or LMK in the comments. I19F had a birthday this week and decided it would be fun to go out with my friends on the weekend since we are all so busy with work and moving back home from college. Most of us were available for the time and day I set, so we were good to go. All week I've been so excited to see everyone since it's been about 6 months since we've all been together, since our lives have been changing a lot in this year that most of us have graduated from high school. Well, come today I was getting ready and found a really cute dress that I just love since it just looks great on me, and I pair it with a crop top that's too small but works with the dress, but it doesn't fully cover my chest. Big problem since I hate bras. So the dress has to fully cover it, if that makes sense. I shower, do my makeup, get dressed, and meet everyone, giving out hugs and catching up at our first destination, an arcade. We have a great time playing games and hanging out, beating each other in games we haven't played in years. It's great. I decided to join a waitlist for a restaurant close, so we could have better food, and we have a kind of big party, so I didn't want a chance having to wait too long once we got there. Important for later. We start to cash out our tickets for candy and knickknacks and head over to the restaurant to meet up with more friends. When we get out our cars, I text to check us in. We stand and wait outside for the second text message saying we can head inside. While talking, we see our friends pull in, then my best friend texts me to fix my dress. Me being the idiot that I am stands up and asks what's wrong, not feeling the breeze on my breasts that have fallen through my 2 layers of clothes. I'm still so embarrassed and have no clue what to do. I'm just still in shock 5 hours later. Iku all saw, but I'm so scared that the guy I like saw me like that, or even worse if the people around us saw. It's just so embarrassing. What or how to feel about it. I understand it's an accident, but I wish I could have avoided it, and I feel like I could have. Really just looking for advice or anything that could take my mind off of it. Thank you. TL. I accidentally flashed my friends and maybe some people in front of a restaurant because I go braless. Story 8. Today I messed up by having a drinking problem and blowing my life up. I'll preface this by saying I know there's no excuse and I'm a total cunt. I'm under a lot of pressure and stress at the moment, but that doesn't excuse my actions. Far from it. Planned on having a few beers with my fiancée and watching the original Star Wars trilogy as she had never seen them. We've been having issues for months, mainly communication. Everything started out fine, few beers, watched the first one, few more beers, put dinner on while we watched the second. During the second movie I ran out of beer. Now I should mention I have been doing a lot of thinking lately and decided I drink too much and should cut down. 24-pack over the weekend was pretty usual. I rarely drink spirits. Once I ran out, it was still quite early. Around 7:30 p.m. I think. While I was cooking I had an idea, a terrible one. I have a few bottles of spirits in the cupboard. I grabbed the Sambuca and had a shot. I've only had that a couple of times in my life. Last time was my 40th last year. This was a leftover bottle, about 1/3 left. I don't remember the last half of the party, as apparently when I drink Sambuca I black out, turn into a cunt and spend the next day or two feeling like complete shit. Thought it was a one-off because of all the other booze I'd had that night. Nope. I went back a few more times for another shot. And before you know it the bottle is gone. I don't remember a thing and had to be filled in my now ex-fiancée. Apparently I started talking about suicide, verbally abusing her and just being a general making love idiot. She said I'd gone to bed, got back up, continued to be a sausage head, vomited, and she made me go back to bed. I woke up at 5:30 a.m., still drunk, confused, alone in bed. Somehow managed to lose my clothes? I had texted some drunken gibberish that she had replied to at some point, and I replied when I woke up drunk. In my haze I thought we had a fight and broke up. We started texting and arguing, which had been the norm lately. Thinking we were already broken up, I kind of doubled down and started being more of a cunt. Well, she's been and dropped the ring off and everything else I had at hers. I lost the love of my life, an absolute gem of a woman that stuck by me through 5 years. Because I have a drinking problem and I'm a making love idiot. That's it, I'm done. No more alcohol. I'm going sober so this shit never happens again. I threw the remaining bottles away. Can't believe it. It's like a bad dream I can't wake up from. Watch your drinking people. I never thought I had an issue, but I clearly do. TLDR. Got shit-faced, was a cunt to my fiancée, am now single.